Coming to you live from the Drew Estate and Gurkha Cigar Studios in the great state of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Spare Notes series with your hosts, Matt Tobacco, Pat Chamberlain, and William Cooper.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Spare Notes series. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokingTobacco.com, and I'm joined once again by two fabulous gentlemen who make it this show happen. That's right, from first, from my own team, Mr. Patrick Chamberlain, attorney at law, and from Indian Trail, North Carolina, Mr. William Cooper of cigar-coop.com. Gentlemen, how are we? How's it going?
Yeah, going well. Going well.
Sounds like you guys don't have anything to say. Wow, what a...
No, it's all good.
Guys are being all quiet over there. Oh, man. Yeah, it's great. It's great to sit down and do the show. I just considering the way my life has been lately, it's really the only way I can. It's really the only way I can be forced to do something that's not, something I shouldn't say not have to do, because I kind of have to do this too, but it gets me away from everything else, so it's kind of nice. Yeah. But sorry, I'm just finishing up a couple little things as I kind of get the night set up here. And we were going to start a little earlier, but I'm going to be honest, I take full responsibility because Coop and I were talking about some music stuff, and then I just kind of got carried away with it because I really get excited about that stuff. So we were a little delayed getting started, but we're here, and I'm also trying to make sure that Jay Davis knows that we're live, because I know him and his beautiful wife love to watch the show. And admittedly, I forgot to give him the heads up. I always remind him, like, hey, spare notes. And I didn't do that. So now I'm making sure he knows. Mitchell Santaga is in the comment section. Happy birthday to his daughter, Leona. Who I forget how old I forget how old she's gonna be, but tomorrow's her birthday. I want to say 6 years old. I could be wrong.
Look at that. That's wonderful.
She's a little older than Anastasia. I can't remember how old she is though. I know she's around that. What a day! What a week! What a life! As some might say, Some might say. That's another one. Have you guys talked about Oasis on Jukebox?
We did a whole show recently on them.
Did you?
We have some mixed views on Oasis.
In my house, it's interesting because I've always liked Oasis. I was never like a super fan, but I always really liked them. And Nicole grew up in England, so over there, I mean, in our childhood time, Oasis in England was like when the Beatles came out. I mean, it was a big deal.
Well, okay, and that was a lot of the basis of our difference of opinion that Dave Burke and I had. I think Oasis was bigger deal in England than they were in the U.S. They had their moments in the U.S., but they don't. Their following, they have a following in the U.S. It's not as big as people think. And it was recently evidenced they did the fan voting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they finished second to last in the voting. So
yeah.
So I'm not knocking the music or anything. I'm just I think in the U.S. they haven't had the same effect, is what I'm saying.
Which is a shame because, when you talk about the timeline of like where rock bands are at, I mean, they're one of the last few of like the real ones, Not that there's not good bands today, but bands.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Bands today, like that are on the rise, or kind of like they've made it, but like they're still getting like super big. It's not like it was when you were younger. You know what I mean? Like when you were in high school, and like that's like what was big was just bands. Now it's like there's so many other genres that take precedent over, the charts and the popular airwaves, like the top 40s and all that. It's all hip hop, pop, electronic, dance music. It's Country is getting way more popular now than it was when I was a kid, as we were talking a lot about that before the show. But like, man, like when you were around, like when you were younger, like it was like I almost looking back, because I mean I wasn't there. It almost just seemed like there was just new bands like coming out of everywhere. Like like I was like there was just so many bands, and like now I'm like anybody like heard anything like new that's great?
The band is dying. We actually did a show on that. The concept of a band is dying, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But there it is, because it has to do with expense. It's getting more expensive to keep bands together. So it's solo people can now have home studios and can do things quicker, and there's not as much dependence on instrumentation. It's all a shame, but that's what's happening.
Yeah, and I feel like younger kids are not getting into playing instruments as much because they don't have the patience to learn. They don't have, for them, it's not. It's like, I'd rather go on the like. I know the mentality of these kids today. It's I can go on my computer and I can make a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Nope.
And as life goes on, and society moves on. Unfortunately, that'll be the narrative for everybody, because that's like the thing with the up and coming generations. It's like, but like it won't be the same as like when you listen to like Eddie Van Halen talk about, well, I didn't have a lot of money. I'll never forget this interview when he was they asked him about like his playing style, and he said, I didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I had a lot of sounds in my head that I wanted to make, but I couldn't afford all the pedals and all the effects that all the big bands who like had big deals and all that. So I had to be creative, and that's when he started making like his Frankenstein guitars, and he was like, I wanted the Fender body, but I wanted the Gibson pickups, and I wanted and he started, and then that's when he started doing the drills and all that, because he was trying to do something new, he was trying to do something different, he was trying to do stuff that was difficult to do without pedals and effects and all that. And then he did make it big, and he still kept doing it, and that's what made him so good. And kids today, they don't have that. Like there's not many. I mean, I'm not saying there's no kids, but in the grand scheme of like kids who are into music, there's nobody out there who's sitting there in their room with a guitar and being like, how do I make the most out of this thing? It's like you got kids today who pick up the guitar and they try to learn, and they get bored of it after a week. And it's like, and unfortunately that's how I see it, and it's just not the same.
I agree. It's sad. If I sound wrong, it's sad what's happening. Yeah,
it is. I mean,
we went through this creative period of music after COVID. That's the one thing that's kind of been a plus, but it was at the expense of some other things, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. You got Mitchell in the comments who, he plays bass guitar. He's musically inclined. He comes from a musical family. I won't say too much about that. For those who know, they know. So he's got deep roots with music. So I know he gets it. We've talked a lot about it. And it's weird because it's like Mitchell's around my age, and so it was almost like weird, like talking to him about music and like guitars and shit like that. It was like it's weird because it's like people our age. It's like there's not many of them. It's like it's that are like into it like that. Most people our age are like, oh yeah, have you heard that new like song by like what's his name, Little something? Like, no, I don't listen to that. I just, you know what I mean? What a shame. And I know there's people who will disagree and they'll hate on me for it, but I mean, I'm entitled to my opinion. This is my show. I can say whatever I want.
No, you're entitled to it. Yep.
Jay Davis, sorry, I didn't realize you were on. Don't. Jay, what did you do? Fucking Jay. It's all right. I love Jay. I can't be mad at Jay. Jay took care of me. Oh, by the way, Jay, here's my shameless plug for Jay. I got a bag of cigars I got from Jay. Look at that right in there.
The
Blue Smoke in Dallas. Yeah.
The best matches. Those best matches.
Packed with love.
Get them quick. We get them. Look, I'll give them a plug. Go buy from Jay. If you don't, He's got a lot of good stuff, and he ships fast, and everything's always shipped fresh and everything. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to continue on my musical rant, but you see, I told you, I get into it. It was my first love, before everything else.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
So the thing about music, you get me talking about music, I won't shut up. Sorry. Oh, boy. Pat, what are you doing? How's it going? Oh, is that... Do my eyes... Is Pat growing the, Oh, what's going on up there?
Oh, the mustache?
Yeah, what's you bringing it back?
I might be. I'm dabbling.
I like this look.
I'm dabbling in it.
So far, the person though who brought back facial hair, who I respect, but I disagree. I feel they should keep it forever, as do I think many people do. Is also in this room. I'm telling you, Coop, you rock that goatee, man.
If
You
remember
rock that goatee. I'm telling you.
If you remember why though, I had oral surgery.
I know.
It was hard to shave, and then the Phillies made their run, and I decided to not shave significantly. It was not a no shave during the playoffs.
Can I put
So
something
that
on
was
wax
worth
with you
saying.
right now?
What?
Can I put something on wax with you right now?
What do you mean?
So, I want you to agree to something publicly that's on record, so that way I can go back and say you agreed to it. Because there's incentive for you here too. This isn't just for me.
What?
If the Phillies, and I'm not going to commit to a season, right? Well, let's just say relatively soon. Okay.
Right.
The Phillies win a World Series, you got to keep the goatee for at least a year.
I don't know
If they
right
win the
now
World
that
Series, I mean, if they take it
I don't know
all.
if I can get away with that, unfortunately, with my professional life. So.
Really? They have a no shave.
Yeah.
They have a shave policy.
No, but it's kind of. I'll just kind of say it's kind of an unwritten rule.
What do you?
But I
You
will
work for the
commit-
Yankees?
I will grow one. I will grow one, but I can't keep it a year.
Oh, that's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Actually,
will do
I
that,
remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming back to me.
But they're not making the World Series. They have nothing to worry about. So this team's a mess. So I said it even when they were in first place. So.
Yeah, I have been trying to keep tabs on baseball, but with everything
Why?
I got going on, I mean, the Red Sox started off okay, but then it was like, we're sinking. And are the Mets still do the Mets still have the best record in the league? Did they have the fucking Mets, dude. What? They have the best record in the league, and their star player that they just spent all that money on started the season being like, I don't want to be here. And like, and it's like,
yeah. And then you got to hear from these Yankee fans, unfortunately, with the Red Sox, which is they're just suffocating, insufferable. These Yankee fans. 27 World Series. Yeah, that's what they always will throw up. No asterisks, though. No asterisks the ones they had all the cheaters on, but that's just swept under the rug. Yeah.
Yeah, that and the thing with the Yankees fans is they have those 27 World Championships, which is fine. That's fine. But they're also pissed because despite those 27 World Championships, since 2004, they only have one and we have four. And it all began when Dave Roberts stole second base. That was the end for them. So they're still pissed about it.
Same amount of World Championships as the Yankees in that time period too.
Yeah.
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 So it's I mean it's just that team is just the fans they go completely quiet when they don't win. You're at least being accountable for your team right now, and they're struggling. Bear's been very accountable when his team's struggling.
Yeah.
But most of the fans, I'm not saying most of them do that. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm like, I've been right now. Hockey's been my interest because I Edmonton's always been one of my favorite teams. So it's good to see them in the finals again. I think this is Edmonton's last shot at the cup. So if they don't win it this year, they're not going to wait for a while.
See, for me, normally I'd be with you. However, something happened a few months ago that changed it all for me, which I think you already know what it was. So now I want Florida to win.
Right.
Because he ain't got much time left, and he came so close with us so many times, and I'm like, if his clock's ticking, get him another one.
Yeah.
He deserves another one. He really does. I mean,
Yes.
we got 2011. He lost 13. He lost, what was that, 18, 19 to the St. Louis Blues?
Yeah.
I mean, then the last several years, it's like we got to the playoffs. We won the President's Cup. Florida fucking took us out. And just the Bruins are a mess now. So Brad Marchand needs this. I think that he gets one now and he gets two. I think it really puts a punctuation mark on his Hall of Fame. You know.
I understand that. And the other thing, I'm not a Florida Panthers fan, but Sam Bennett's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a hockey player. That he is a fun guy to watch on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Big time player in my book.
Yeah, I mean, when you and another thing that I was going to add, I see Mitchell as a Canadian. None of our sports teams do well, but I hope the Oilers get it done. Which I think at this point, I think for Canada, I think it doesn't really matter who's in it, as long as there's a Canadian team in the finals. They just hope they win, just for Canada's sake. And I get it. Yeah. I mean, that cup.
I get it. Even McTavish is from Calgary, and that's a big rivalry with Edmonton. And he's rooting for Canada. Basically Calgary's getting behind Edmonton. It's kind of a Canada thing.
And I don't even think it's about Oilers or if it was the Flames or if it was the Leafs. I don't think it matters who it is. I think if it comes down to a Canadian team versus an American team, I think everyone's just like, I don't care. Like, it's just let's go Canada. I think it's all about Canada.
I think it is too. Yeah.
I mean, that cup hasn't in my lifetime. That cup has not gone back over the border. Because the last time was 93, Montreal Canadiens.
With 1 year old. Yeah.
So it would have been the 92-93 season, right? Or the 93-94 season. It was 93.
It was 93. No, it was 92-93. That was the Canadiens LA Kings final, and that was Gretzky playing for another cup, and everyone was rooting for Gretzky in the US.
Yeah, and I think that so that would have been like June. It would have been now, in 93. I wasn't born until December. So in my lifetime, there has not been a Canadian Stanley Cup champion, which is crazy.
They've gotten to the finals. But they haven't won.
Yeah, well, last year, or it was this basically because it was Oilers Panthers last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a rematch series.
Yeah, they've been the two best teams the last couple of years, even though they haven't finished first this year. Teams tend to turn it on in the playoffs.
We beat Vancouver in 2011. That was the 7-game series with they had Luongo and the Sedin twins. We beat them. I think Montreal's been to the finals a couple times, right?
They went to the finals during the pandemic year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Edmonton's been to a few finals. Calgary's been to a final. Vancouver's been to a final, yeah.
I think the only one that hasn't is Toronto. It's because we always bounce them out of the first round.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we and I can't really talk because the state of the Bruins is not great right now. However, the numbers don't lie. I mean, when you look at Toronto, and they're they're a playoff team. They make it to the playoffs. They got to go through Boston. It's at the point now where they're just like, that's it. Like once they know, we got to play Boston, they're like, yeah, it's not our year. We've beaten the shit out of them every single time. There was 1 year they came close back in the Claude Julien days. Actually, it might have been the 2011 season when they almost had us. I think it was the second round. I remember thinking like, oh shit, Like this is it. And we came back and we closed them out. But there was a point where it was like Toronto's going to bounce us out. Like this is going to happen. And then it was a miracle that we got out of that. But it came close.
You guys hired a legitimately good coach, by the way. This Marco Sturm guy, I know he played for you guys, but he's a legitimately good hire. So I'd keep an eye on him. Hockey coaches have a very short shelf life, and they tend to have to go through a few teams, unfortunately. So it's hard for them to win with the first team. And it's not unusual for retrade coaches do very well winning the Stanley Cup, as we will see. But this Sturm guy is a legitimately good coach. He's coached in the Olympics. He's German, so he's represented. I think he's coached in Germany for a while. Legitimately good hire. I think it was a good hire by Boss. I like the hire a lot.
Yeah, and it's too bad the Torts didn't work out well for you guys. I mean, I think Torts is a good coach.
It didn't. And he had to be let go. He did better than I thought. Last year I thought he did a great job, but this year the team tuned him out. I love the Tocchet hire. Love it. He's a Philadelphia guy. We needed a Philadelphia guy who understands Philadelphia. And retrade coaches, like I said, tend to do well. So I'm happy with that hire. I was happy with. I wanted. I wasn't a fan of Torch when they got hired him, but he actually, for a while, he was really winning me over because he was making chicken salad out of chicken shit with that team. I mean, bad, worst team in the league he had at one point. So, yeah. So, I'm happy with that hire as well. I would have liked to have seen us get Kenville, but he went to Anaheim. So,
Jay Davis, what he's. Matt, thanks for making me feel. I graduated law school and passed the bar in 1993 before you went. I didn't know Jay passed the bar.
Jay's a lawyer, yeah. You didn't know that?
After all these years, how did I not know that?
Yeah,
it's never come up.
Yeah, no, I've had. Yeah, no, he definitely had.
So I assume he doesn't practice law still.
Safe to say that, yeah.
Yeah, he's all in on Oh shit! I didn't even know that. How did I not know that? See, you learn something new every day. This is why, Jay. This is why your presence is needed here. I learn something new every day.
No, Jay. Yeah, that's true.
This is another example of why Jay Davis provides great commentary during the show. Can't beat it.
Right.
Can't beat it, man. And then you got Mitchell right here. Honestly, the Maple Leafs are actually probably the only Canadian team Canadians don't root for. I believe him because he's Canadian, so you know what I mean? He would know. I love you, Mitchell. It's so funny. That's interesting. Anyway, what are you guys smoking? Pat, what are you smoking over there?
I haven't lit up yet. I got to light up.
I'm smoking the Tatuaje RL22.
Oh.
Love that cigar. Oh, man,
Wow.
I love that cigar.
Coop reminded me of it last week, and I took one out.
Yeah. Top 10 for me it was last year.
Pat and I feel like Pat and I have been smoking a lot of Tatuaje lately. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think I had what did I do earlier today? I did a Kahonu 2015, like that double Robusto size.
Yep. It's a good one. Coop, what do you got?
Redemption, Corona.
That's a great
reviews
cigar.
coming up on Coop. Yep, reviews coming up on Coop this week. So I've kind of been going through a cycle of these. Just got around to these, smoking these. So yeah, this is a good cigar. It's a good cigar. Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it that or was it the Robusto that was on our list last year? I think it was in our top 10.
Really? I don't know if it's that. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's that high in my book. But
I think it was 10 actually. It was 10. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if it's top 25 in my book. I'll be honest. But it's a good cigar.
Do you like that or the Herrera Esteli Miami more?
The Herrera Esteli Miami more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I'd go with that too. But that redemption, I really liked that redemption. But yes, I'm with you.
It's
on
a good
that.
cigar. It's not a dog rocket. It's not a dud. I just you had the Toro on your list, Matt.
I did.
I just looked at your list. Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Which is weird because like you, like I could ask you and be like, oh yeah, in 2016, like, but yeah, it's already gone from my memory. But no, it was a good blend though. It's a good blend. Did you smoke that Cohiba Serie M yet?
The Azul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can already tell. Just by the way you said it. I can already tell. Man, don't play poker. You won't win. I haven't smoked it yet.
I like this one better. I like the redemption better.
I haven't smoked it yet, but wait, Pat?
Did you have Bandolero Premium yet, Coop? Like you said you
Oh
would?
my goodness! So yes, I did. Oh man, I forgot. I had it on Monday. There's something different about that cigar, like tobacco-wise, that I can't put my finger on with it. Do you agree with that? It's very different. I don't know what, I don't know what type of tobacco it is, but it's something. All I'm saying is something different in that cigar that I haven't had in any of the other selected tobacco cigars.
I still haven't smoked it yet. I should.
It's very It's a really good cigar. Jay, I meant to tell you I smoked it as well. No, was it Thursday I smoked it? Not because I smoked it Jay on Thursday. So it was Thursday I smoked it. Yeah, it was right before my show. I did. Yes. So it was because Jay had asked me too if I smoked it, and that was and I hadn't, but now I have smoked it. And I don't know what the tobacco is he's using. There's, I looked at the blend. It didn't seem like any, but maybe a varietal or something. All I'm saying is that something very different about it. I have some. It's not. Before anyone said, I don't think it's Cuban, by the way, either.
No.
I don't think it's a Cuban taste in there, because that's the natural thing people say. No, I don't think it's a Cuban leaf taste. There's something different in that cigar.
What? I know you can't really put your finger on, but do you like? Can you describe like what kind of taste you getting? Like any similar notes based on like is it florally? Is it a little more bitter like San Vicente? Like what is it that?
It's almost kind of like a mushroomy, musky note I'm getting from it.
Weirdly enough, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I don't know if Pat got that or not, but that's what I'm kind of getting from it.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
In the review, I think I said umami, which is mushroom savory.
Yeah, it's this.
You did. I remember that.
Yeah.
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 He's right. He did
I don't
say
know.
that.
I mean, it's the first. I mean, I know the Nelson does it too, but they ship those to Spain for a special aging process. So I don't know if that might be an influence. All of them have the Nelson, so I don't know if it's similar or not. You
know what the first thing I thought about was? The Macanudo España. It had some, not where I got a similar type of note in the Macanudo España, but I don't know if he's using Spanish tobacco in that or not. That's why I said I don't know what the varietal is. I just don't know. So, but I don't know if it was in my head because I know he's shipping those to Spain, so that might have just been like a psycho impression I'm getting of it, and I don't know if I have any concrete, but it's definitely different than anything I've had at a selected tobacco before.
I think it's just the best cigar that they've made, in my opinion.
Jay had it as his #1 cigar at the trade show. So it's a very good. It's definitely the best Bandolero I've had, and my favorite was the Firecracker. So this is really good.
I can already tell that going into the end of the year, with this is going to be a hard year. The last couple of years were hard because there was not a lot of massive standouts. This year, I feel like it's going to be the complete opposite. It's going to be really difficult because there's going to be too many standouts.
Well, Perdomo landslided for me last year. It was a landslide winner. If I kind of showed you the score sheets, it's not a disrespect on any of the other cigars. I haven't had a 2-horse race for a cigar since 2017. That was the closest one I had in the last 10 years. So, but last year Perdomo was like led in the gate from day one pretty much, and didn't lose any ground.
I think that it's going to be like a 5-horse race this year. I don't know. I mean,
Exactly. Pat's
you think
right.
Socket will have at least one contender out of what's coming out from him. You know, it's like the Bandolero Premium's going to be up there. I mean, based on the review of the Indoor, that's going to be up there. Although the resmokes for it, I can say transparently now, have not been as high as I rated it, unfortunately.
And that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
I'm talking
I've had,
like substantial. Like I think.
well, I've had that. I've had cigars fall out of the top 25 actually in the past. So it absolutely has happened to me. So yeah, it's those, and that's why the resmoke I think is so important. Because you're doing performance over time, and if it's not performing, and that happens. Sometimes you'll get a review and it scores higher than at that point in time for whatever reason. It's not that you've done anything wrong. So it's it's interesting. I'm doing the Pledge of Allegiance 24 review right now, which I hadn't gotten around to, and it definitely scored lower. It definitely scored lower. I can tell you that.
I never bash a company, but I will bash that cigar last year vigorously. Oh my God!
Yeah, we've talked about it. I remember Pat brought it up. He was like, the first one was phenomenal. The second one, what happened?
It was top 20 for me.
I took the entire wrapper off one of my cigars, and this is like, so when I took the bar exam in July, I brought Pledge of Allegiance cigars, and we smoked in front of my dad and I smoked in front of the testing hall for like a kind of like good luck smoke.
Right.
Holy shit! I enjoyed the bar exam more than smoking the thing. Like, I bought a whole box of them too, and I was so excited because the original release was unreal. The first release of it was unreal, and then you come and the second release comes out. Every single cigar that I smoked out of that box, I have one left. The wrapper came off. The wrapper came off. You cut the tip of it, and it automatically starts coming up. And it's like transparent Connecticut broadleaf. You can see through it. It is the thinnest, most delicate. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. Horrible.
Listen, I don't disagree with you on that. And because I've had two, and I had one cracked, the cap cracked as soon as I cut it. And it wasn't like dry or anything like that. Now I do know they're tweaking they're changing the blend. I don't want to say tweak. I heard it's a new blend this year that's coming out.
I don't even know if they need to change the blend. They just have to not use like a shit wrapper. I don't know. I'll stop talking. I'm being mean.
No.
Yeah, that was bad.
Hey, no, that's what this show's all about, man. Believe me, the shit I have said on this show over the years. Don't even worry about it. If people listen to me regularly enough, they know. They're like, oh yeah, this shit I've said. Don't worry about
it. I came in this week and I smoked the Amazon Basin Petite Coronas. Those were good.
The daggers?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I think they did a great job with that. I've smoked it. Was very impressed with it. We smoked them on KMA last week, and I was very impressed with that. You really get that Bergancia tobacco. So again, if you're looking this, because it is different. So yeah, I definitely got, and that was another mushroomy type of note I got with that too. So
yeah, it's very like clay and spicy caramel kind of. It's good.
Yeah.
No, I like it a lot. And it's strong too. And if I have a cigar like in that format, a quick smoke and one punch.
Yeah. So when I got them, I smoked one before KMA, and I was just starting to get back to smoking, and that thing knocked me on my ass. It was like, wow, this thing's strong. Yeah, because it knocked me on my ass because my palate wasn't. I hadn't smoked for 10 days before that. So, yeah, it was. But I think it's going to do well for them. I don't like don't get me wrong. Anytime I see craft paper bundles, my skin crawls. Please get rid of craft paper bundles, please, and just stop with them. And I don't like it. It hides the cigar. I hate that. That cigar deserves better than a craft paper bundle.
Tell that to Saka for the Umagogs.
Saka, I'm saying it straight out. That packaging. Please. I know you don't want to put boxes. Put a cello so you can see the cigar, because that wrapper is beautiful and it deserves to be seen. Put a cello wrapper on it. please. Yeah.
I
Did you
mean,
ever see the one he did for Abe, the TGS one? It's got it's like the cheapest, and it sells out.
see this. So we've talked about this before. Now the thing is, I get it, and I think when it started for you, I think it was when Davidoff was using them.
Oh,
Because I think that was what really like set you off, because it was like, well, it's Davidoff, because they got some of their stuff that they from time to time, like the original
the Vault series.
the Vault series, and then the original, the Year of the Dragon, which was their which it wasn't even called Year of the Dragon, but it was their original like Year of the Dragon was like the first like Chinese New Year one, and it was a craft paper bundle, and then after that, then they went to the nice boxes and all that. But I remember you talking about that. You're like, oh, it's Davidoff. Why am I paying $500 for a craft paper bundle?
My most famous one is I went nuts on Herclots with the timeless TAA cigar.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember that chapped your ass too.
And that was when I was still smoking TAA cigars. And I said, how in the world? And he gave me I said, this is a TAA cigar. This is supposed to be the best of the best. You got to do better than a crap paper bundle for me, Michael. I'm sorry. You have to. You have to. I don't mind the cello bundle, because the cello bundle you could, and especially this is why I go back to Umbagog Bronzeback. That wrapper's gorgeous that he's using on that thing. It's a beautiful wrapper. It deserves to be seen, in a retail store like that. I get for online sales, craft paper bundles work, and I get that. But for retail shops, it's tough, is what I'm saying.
Well, he just started doing the display shelving for Umbagog.
Yeah,
prior to that,
that's a little
it was like a business.
That's a little bit. Yeah.
If you want to sell it by the single, you gotta, find like a shelf just to kind of rest them on, and so at least he has that going for him.
Do you remember during the pandemic when all the box factories were closed? So all the manufacturers just started bundling the cigars. Like,
no one cares about the pack.
I remember, I bought Andalusian Bulls in a cellophane bundle. I bought shit that you'd be like, that would never be enough.
But you didn't pay less for them.
No, I didn't.
I guarantee you paid this. Yeah.
Remember when Fuente they couldn't get the metal tubes in the boxes for the King, so they just cellophaned them and they put them in a bag. They put them in one of the Fuente bags, and they called it the Naked Kings, because they were like, we can't get tubes in boxes, so here you go. Wild times, man. Those were wild times.
Yeah. Well, oh man, it was yeah, that was definitely some wild times.
I had my own delivery service. I had Trevor from Two Guys, because he lived in the town over, and they'd be like, I need a bunch of stuff, and he was like, okay, and he'd ring me up, and then he would bring it to my house, and he would leave it in the driveway, and be like, here you go. Bundles. What is this?
We had Thursday night. I had Raid, the Leaf Master from Dubai, on. He's the guy I met in Dubai, and he's really, really a great guy to talk to. And I asked him about how COVID affected things in Dubai, and he said he almost went out of business. The only thing that saved him is he started basically doing an Uber delivery service for his cigars, and he was basically an Uber Eats driver for cigars, pretty much, and that's what saved him. That saved his business. He said otherwise he would have been done.
Hold on a second. I'm looking at this bag from Jay.
Matt leisurely looks at his collection here.
No, I thought for a second I thought that no, never mind. I was wrong. It's okay. I don't want to say it because I was wrong, so I don't want to even create an idea. But I am going to light up. I have two of each size of the Aladino 85, so I'm going to start with the Toro.
I was confused with what that cigar is, by the way.
What did you say?
I have a conspiracy what the 85 is.
Oh, really? Do you want to share with the group, or are you trying to keep it on the DL?
No, I really don't care.
Oh, go ahead.
It's I can almost I have no reason to know this, but I would bet money on it. You know, I forget what they called it. it's that event only one that came in again, one of those paperback
The
bundles.
craft paper bundles. Yeah.
I want to say it's the Le Mans Ron's. I forget what it was called, but it was an event only cigar, and I really liked it. And then I smoked the 85, and it was like the exact same thing. And I feel like it's the same cigar.
I, I would be surprised if it is. And here's I'm not trying to do. The only reason is they're using that
Pinareno
tobacco, which was in. It's a pretty expensive tobacco to put in an event cigar. That's the only reason why I would say.
Well, it was like a really limited quantity, and the only thing that Justo said was it was an experiment that they made so many of, and they're testing it. So I feel like
That I mean that is a possibility. I mean they kind of tested this cigar with Asylum last year. Christian used it in the Sensorium, which was a very good cigar. It was in my top 25. But this is all Pinareno tobacco.
Wow, not bad. Coop, have you smoked both
So-
sizes?
No, I just got mine from Jay, so
You
they're
just
in
got
the
yours.
humidor right now.
Pat, you've smoked
Yeah.
85. Have you smoked both sizes or just one?
I had the Toro. I haven't had the Robusto yet.
All right. So I have the Toro.
I-
I have both, but I'm smoking the Toro first.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's one of those like you love or hate Honduran. So if you don't like Honduran, you probably won't like it. But if you like Honduran, I think it's a really good cigar.
Yeah, I tend to be the most patient person to light up a cigar. Like I just am anal about making sure they go in the humidor for a couple weeks. So that's why I'm always behind. Like I typically don't smoke anything off the truck unless I'm smoking in a shop. That's really the way I'll do it.
The only thing I don't like about it so far, and Pat, you're the only other one that's actually smoked this, especially this size. So feel free to share whatever your experience was. I feel like it's not horrible. Believe me, it's not like, but it's a little tight, just a little tight.
Yeah, I found that the ones I had were tighter than I like. I mean,
Right?
they smoked, but they were tight. I would agree. I mean, I found that often with some of the, honestly, specifically like the more premium Aladinos, like the Corojo Reserves are one of my favorite cigars that Aladino makes.
Oh my god,
And-
cigar of the year for me. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And they've been tight recently. Specifically, the Corona was the one that I like, but they're hard to smoke.
Two Guys
Hey, I'm-
sells a shit ton of those, especially in the number 4 size.
Well, yeah, that's
That's the Corona. That's the Corona. I'm that Robusto to me is the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Robusto to me it's a former cigar of the year for me. I mean, Aladino's had an incredible track record on Coop. They have one number 1 and 2 number 2s, as well as several top 10s. They've had some misses for me too. I won't lie. It was interesting. Last year I had the Aladino Classic Lancero number 2. I was not a fan of the original Classic line at all. And then that Lancero came out, and you know me with Lanceros, I'm picky, and I'm like, that cigar was, number 2 cigar of the year it ended up being. And I think, like I said, I think Justo is the king of Lanceros, in my opinion. I think they do the best Lanceros in the business right now. Every Lancero they've had has been terrific.
yeah, he does a good job. I wish they would do a Corojo Reserve Lancero, to be honest with you.
I think they should. I would like to see that. I agree with you 100% on that. Fumanoche is aging unbelievable too, is what I'll tell you. If you haven't lit up your Fumanoches, light them up. So they, but
I think I have some.
yeah, they're coming along. They're trending up, is what I'll tell people. So
I'll tell you this much. This cigar has it's a little different than what I expected. And that's not a negative thing. Flavor wise, I really like it. It's got this very strange tingle on my tongue that I really like. Like it's intense, but it's kind of nice. It's very smooth.
That Pinareno tobacco, if you haven't had the Asylum, and that was a $60 cigar, by the way, that Asylum.
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah.
I love that cigar. Jay got me hooked on that cigar. And it was number 11 last year for me. And I think that cigar just didn't get the recognition it did because of the price point. I think the price point was too high on it. I'll be honest on that. So if that was a $20 cigar, I think it would have done better.
Yeah, then you have in general, like the Asylum name, like you don't associate that with being more than like a $15 price point, or even that's $15 for Asylum's even pretty high. Not that they can't make ultra premium cigars, but it's just I feel like they're everyday consumer. That's not what they're looking for.
I would have. I remember when that came out, Pat, and I said they should have branded that an Aroa cigar. I think they crossed the branding lines a little too much with that one. I understand they want to have a more expensive Asylum, but I still think that belonged under Aroa. I think it was the sizes is why they put it under Asylum, because they were big ring gauges. But I would have absolutely branded those Aroa.
Would have been good for them too, because I think they've neglected Aurora, which I believe that they're kind of putting some more resources into it now. But I mean, the packaging's been updated, so
they did a nice job. Yeah. Yeah, Aurora's getting a refresh of packaging. That was at the trade show, and they're reblending the dark, and it's going to be Christian's 30th anniversary cigar. So I'm excited about the dark is a blend I did like, but they're apparently changing the blend on that one too. And the Colorado was a former cigar of the year. The Aroa Colorado, first 20 years Colorado.
Oof, fantastic
that
cigar.
Was a cigar. That was. Remember, I was saying there was a close one. That was one of the closest years because there was a La Aurora Coseca that finished second, and it was very close. That was one of the closest ones I ever had.
I feel like this has opened up a little bit. Like, which
you
is
want to talk
quickly,
about,
but it's
cigars.
very good.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, Matt.
No, sorry. I was just saying. It feel like it opened just ever so slightly, like already. Like I'm already like I don't know, 5/8 of an inch in, and it's already opened up a little better. It's better. Excuse me. Yeah, I gotta smoke the whole thing, and I gotta smoke a couple more of them, but. Yeah, I like this one a lot too, so far. I can get past the slight tightness, considering how it proved a little bit already.
Yeah,
it's good so far. Sorry, Pat, what were you gonna say?
With certain cigars, I'm gonna go gripe about another one that's a new one. I smoked the new JFR 30.
The 20.
I have the 20. I haven't smoked it yet, but I'm hearing a lot of mixed feedback on this cigar.
So it
really,
yes. I'm going to piggyback off of another conversation we've had about how Aganorsa's quality control has been abysmal. It is so tight, you can't smoke it. And I'll tell you, I got one a few days ago, lit it up, couldn't smoke an inch in. Threw it down, bought another one, lit it up, couldn't smoke an inch, and then I was given another one, lit it up, couldn't smoke an inch. I'm talking impossible. And if you feel each cigar, it's like a brick. And then Sean from Twins got one, lit it up, couldn't smoke it, too tight. So it could just be the box, but not good.
That's disappointing because
like I said, I've heard mixed feedback. I've heard one person say it was the best cigar he had at the trade show, and McTavish was not high on it because I did a show at McTavish and he was smoking it. So mixed feedback. I haven't smoked it yet, so I want to. Now you're saying the same thing.
The thing about it is, like, I can tell. It's a really, 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 really good cigar. And I'll tell you, like, what it tastes like is the OG Wiseman Maduro. That's what it tastes like.
I've heard a lot of similarities to that. Is what I'll just say. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't smoke the
Different
thing.
sizes, but yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Can't smoke it. It could just be the box. I mean, all the ones I'm talking about came from the same box, so it doesn't mean that the entire project is tight. But I'm not happy with it.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, the thing with Aganorsa, it's disappointing because I remember a time when like I'd smoked their stuff and I was wowed every time, and then it's been 50-50 lately for me.
I got to be honest. I was surprised you had Arsenio on your list last year. I was shocked.
That one was better. I really liked that one, but I have to say, outside of it,
I had a bad time with that too last year. I tried liking it.
I thought it was average.
I thought it was average at best. Yeah, I mean, again, construction
Yeah.
issues on all the ones I smoked.
Yeah.
And then even like the anniversary O's that they have, like when they first came out, they were killer. Honestly, the Connecticut anniversary that came out in 23, I think was one of the better cigars at the trade show. And I've re-smoked it again. Construction, I don't know what's going on over there.
yeah, they got to figure it out.
Every company that they make cigars for makes better cigars than they do right now.
It's like, are they focusing too much on outside products right now? I mean, I don't know.
Aganorsa, when they were Casa Fernandez, was a staple every year on the Coop list. Since the rebrand, the only thing they've landed only a couple of cigars on there. The last one that landed on my list was one of the Supreme Leaves, and even the Supreme Leaf varies from size to size. So I've had mixed results with that.
Even the Rare Leaf, like when it first came out, that Crow Cafe wrapper, a phenomenal cigar. I smoked it again since then. Construction issue. I don't, because Aganorsa was a staple for me. I used to always, when I was working at the shop, I always smoked Aganorsa. It was like my daily, just a solid Nicaraguan cigar.
Yeah.
I won't talk anymore. Every time I try to give it a chance again, it's horrible. I've told Terrence that, by the way, and I don't know what's going on.
It's it's a shame. I mean, like I said, I do think the Anniversario Corollas have maintained a pretty good level. The Maduros haven't with me. The Maduros have been a miss with me. The Signatures, again, the Corojo Signature is a great cigar. That's a good cigar. I have not. I should say I did smoke the 25th. I didn't think the 25th. I thought the 25th was pretty good. I smoked that actually a few months before it came out, though. So I haven't reviewed the actual size of that yet, or the actual release of it. So
Jay,
it would.
Sorry, I was going to say, Jay, I should have mentioned this earlier. Jay shared in the comments, best cigars I know the way it kind of covers the screen, but that's okay. The best cigars I've smoked this year, not in any order: Atabey Black, Bandolero Premium, the Night Commander Year 2, the Awakening, the Red Meat Lovers Fratanga, Julius Caesar Troublemaker, and Blue Eyed Jack by Ed Ventura.
Of that list, there are two that really stand out to me. The Bandolero Premium.
Yep.
But one of the best cigars, Night Commander Year 2. That's the 24 release. A contender for number 1 on Coop right now.
The Night Commander is unreal, and honestly, the event only cigar that's coming out, I'm excited for as well, because it's like that Broadly Perfecto.
Yeah, he was showing us that at the show. I actually liked the packaging on that for an event only. I thought that was I thought that was that really was a nice presentation. We didn't get a chance to smoke that.
This is an interesting comment. Aganorsa has good material, but they need care about the blend.
I think they've had, when Arsenio died, something's changed. And I think it might be related to fermentation. That was where his specialty was. I have a lot of faith. Max Fernandez is doing a lot of blending. I think he's doing well, but it's like he said, something. I think they have the tobacco. It's just something with the blends or not.
Well, they have the tobacco. I mean, look at HVC. I mean,
Yeah,
Lorenzo's
right, and he's still using theirs, even though he's.
yeah, and
I just
he's making some of the best cigars. Like when it comes to consistency, yeah. So it's not the tobacco. It's just it's the quality
yeah.
control.
I finally
That's
have gotten around to smoking those fresh from the ovens, and I'm impressed with those cigars. Renier knows how to do it. Yeah, Renier did a good job with that.
yeah, everything that's come out from them so far. I think it's been a knockout cigar.
Yeah, I think the Selection #1 series is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but he's still using Aganorsa tobacco, from what I understand.
Mhm.
Maybe not for the fresh from the oven because it's a broadleaf, but for the most part, he's still using their tobacco. So again, we know the tobacco is good. I was critical of Aganorsa because I felt that some of the innovations they've done, they've fallen short with. So the first thing that they did was that shade grown Maduro, and it didn't really do what I think it should have been a game changer for them, and it wasn't. And then the Corojo 2012, the same thing. It should have been a game changer for them, and it wasn't. So maybe it's just 'cause it's taking. But I expected those innovations to be ready to go, and to me, it seems like they've fallen short. So they're kind of going back to their bread and butter right now. But in reality, they should be leading the pack in innovation right now.
I mean, I know. Like I think all three of us. I think it was a Sparrow Note show. We were talking about who needs to have a good trade show and a good year, and Aganorsa was the top on. I think. Definitely my list. I think someone else concurred with me. I don't know if it was you, Coop, or
Yeah.
Matt. But
I would agree.
yeah, they need to rebound, in my opinion. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't want to just focus only on Aganorsa. There's other companies that I think need to step up too, but it's. I'm not happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's and I've been disagreed with by a few folks on it. I know the guys from Dojo love it, and I respect them on that, but I haven't had the same opinion with them on that. So, I thought Cerberus was a terrible miss.
I
Oh,
agree.
don't get me started. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget
Rarely-
when Charlie reviewed it and he gave it like a 73, and which look again, people didn't like it, but I respect Charlie and the guys at Half Wheel.
Yeah.
And I remember people took that review and it went across social media like wildfire, and people were angry. Like
the
he
people
doesn't
never read
know.
cigar reviews, so
Yeah.
sharing it. Yeah.
They were like, he doesn't know what he's doing, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I love Terrence and everybody over there. I was like, but guys, a couple of things. One, Charlie does know what he's doing. Two, he got that one right. I'm sorry, but Charlie got it right. And I know it
I didn't
sucks
even
to see that
see it.
number, but he got it right.
I don't even know that he reviewed it, and
He
I
did.
can only probably guess what he said. I mean, the construction again.
It was construction. He had issues with the burn. All three samples, like they had horrible burning problems.
And it just didn't taste. There wasn't really much flavor. It just wasn't like.
Uh,
Like I said, Aganorsa needs to
Yeah.
come back. Like, they need to do something. I don't know what it is.
I want
but
them to come back. I want them to come back. Get me back to the days of Casa Fernandez Miami's and stuff. That's when they were just rolling. Casa Fernandez Miami was the best line they ever did. And I miss those cigars a lot. I know what Aganorsa is capable of doing. So, I just want to see it.
Step one is quality control. It's. I mean, again, the JFR 20 is my example of like I said I needed to see something out of the trade show. I tried 3 times, and I've had someone else try it 4 times. The cigar did not draw. That's not good. It could just be the box, but it's not good.
I smoked the 10 by 100 construction problems galore. And I even I bought another one to re-smoke, and I had the same construction problems. I said, I'm not going to put this re-review up there. In fact, I punted on the cigar halfway through. So it was construction problems galore. So, and I'm not the only one who said they had construction problems with it. I did not have construction problems on the Asylum 90. So they need to fix that.
Sorry, don't mind my silence. I'm just reading a few things. Yeah, I went back to that Cerberus review that he did, and from any website, all of us, very rarely have I seen like the post-review bullet points so long, and it's like kind of coming, and I'm like, yeah. He really justified this score, and he actually.
My favorite thing, yeah, you have to justify the score.
I ended up, if I don't know, at the first point, I ended up smoking 3.5 cigars for this review. The third sample was lit up, but I got distracted and the cigar went out. I wasn't sure if this was due to me or the cigar's burn issues, but I felt like it could have been my issue. I discarded the cigar and the score and ended up lighting a 4th sample for the review. The score is only based on the 3 samples, though. I'm not sure how much it would have mattered had I kept smoking the 3rd cigar, given the burn and draw issues. I'd say the 3rd sample was pretty much mirroring the 2nd sample up until the last point. If I was asked to name one factor whose quality has struggled over the years, it troubles me to say that Tabacos Valle de Jalapa SA is the first one that comes to mind. While the factory has put out some excellent cigars of late, factory score. There are 3 boxes of cigars we've purchased in the last year that stand out signs of quality control is not what it once was. This box of Cerberus is troubled. We purchased a box of Piv Robustos where the cigars didn't fit in the box in a manner that I can't really recall seeing before. And there was a box of Illusione TAA 2021s where the box contained a mixture of shapes ranging from round to box breast.
Oh yeah, that was that was true. Another the TAA. It's like
that damn TAA.
The TAA is the best foot forward for the TAA. You know, like, this is that is I don't even. It's so comical. Like that even. And look, I get things happen and all that, but man, it's a TAA. But that's not, I put that, you know, yeah, that was horrible. I know that I've heard several people talk about that, about those different sizes in there. Yeah, you know, and it was, you know, the Piv Robusto was using some of that 2012 Corojo from what I remember. And, you know, like I said, I think, you know, people are, you know, and I think Aganorsa has done a good job telling their story of their tobacco. I think Terrence has done a great job at events and all that, and I see people really engaged in things like that. But you got to deliver on the cigar in the end, you know. And I wouldn't have put that on the Piv Robusto. That was a wrong cigar to put that on. Maybe they were trying to test balloon with it or whatever, but that was the wrong cigar to do that with.
Whatever happened with that cigar? Like,
it's done. I think it's done.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a flash in the pan. Even when it came out, it was like there was no like fanfare about it. Like, you know, it was. I think it was one of the worst celebrity cigars that was ever released. In terms of like marketing and promotion, like it had like nothing.
No, when I smoked it, it was late in the year, and I'm like, wow, this could be a big contender for the cigar of the year. But I hadn't reviewed it, so I bought a box of them. I bought a box from Caribbean. I get these things home, and I'm like, this sucks. At Caribbean, I never have problems with their cigars. You know, as I know they take good care of their cigars. I'm like, it just fell flat.
Yeah.
Again, the Corojo 2012 is not delivered. It should have delivered. This is something they were working on for a long time. And yeah, I was really disappointed.
They're not all winners, you know? They're not all winners. I mean, there's a lot of cigars that have, you know, I honestly, off the top of my head, I can't even remember them all in my current state of exhaustion. But there has been a lot of cigars over the years where there was like so much like either hype or, you know, excitement or there was reasons.
The Nicaraguan broadleaf. until Espinosa started using it. Espinosa has done well with it, I think. That was another one. I don't think it was Connecticut broadleaf, in my opinion. And Espinosa's found a good way to work with it, so I think they've done well with it. But it took a while. That was disappointing as well.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes these cigars come out and you're just like, oh, okay.
I always say I think when you do innovations like at Aganorsa in a country like Nicaragua, that's a different story than like saying I'm going to use like tobacco from Greece or something like that, where most of the time those tobaccos fall flat. I just smoked the España France. I was disappointed with that cigar. The Spain was another story. I liked the Spain, but the France was very disappointing.
I thought all the Españas were disappointing.
See, I've had mixed results with the Españas, I'll say. I know you. Yeah, I know we disagreed on that. Did you smoke the LE that they did, the box press?
Yeah.
So I like that one.
Didn't like it.
That one.
All the did I say España? I meant emissary. Like all the emissaries.
The France was the French.
None of them have wowed me.
And I've had French tobacco before, but this one was disappointing. I've had Pete Johnson gave me a French Puro once years ago. That company's out of business since then. And it was actually an interesting cigar to smoke.
So I want to ask this question. I find it very interesting. What's your favorite Charter Oak size and wrapper? Very interesting question. Because Charter Oak is, for the money, it's a great fucking cigar.
Well, I got one.
What's yours?
So, mine is not the traditional. Mine is not the traditional Charter Oak. Mine is the Pasquale,
Oh,
which is a little more expensive.
I forgot about that.
That actually scored very well on Coop. It got a 90, so that did very well. And I liked it. The Pegnataro, which was the shade I didn't like as much, but I think that one and the other one I like is the Habano. The regular Charter Oak Habano I think is very good.
I was gonna say the classic Habano and a Toro. I think it was the first one I smoked, and to this day, I think that one's still like. That cigar slaps. I mean, it's for what it is. Like, that cigar is great, man. Like, it's just.
You know what the Pasquale reminded me of? It had that gritty broadleaf, almost like the old Henry Clays.
Yeah.
But a little more refined, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a classic. To me, it was a classic throwback broadleaf that Nick Malillo did with it. Even though, like I said, it was a little more expensive. Those are a little more pricey. They're $13, but I think he did really well with those Pasquales.
Nick's one of those guys who does very well with broadleaf.
Yeah. Well, again, yeah. I mean, you look at the Night Commander.
Yeah.
Nick's had a good year on Coop in the last 12 months. His cigars have scored very well. So he's had a good 12 months on Coop. He'll be on the end of year list for sure. Both of those cigars I just mentioned will be on the end of year list.
Yeah, I mean, I know that last year there was a couple of cigars that we were disappointed by. Outside of that, I'm usually he's always done pretty well.
I think that my fathers were a little let down. I don't think they did what they were supposed to. I don't think they were bad cigars though, but they were a little bit of a letdown in my book.
I know Pat doesn't like them.
The original Wiseman was just so good. It's tough to reblend it.
The Lancero, the Wiseman Maduro Lancero, is going to be a different wrapper from what I heard at the trade show. It's going to be San Andreas. It's going to be is it San Andreas or Broadleaf? I forget, but the wrapper's different.
San Andreas is the current.
So I think it's
Broadleaf. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Broadleaf. What he did with that.
I was gonna say that too. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Broadleaf, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. Yes, it's Broadleaf. I just confirmed that. So they did change the blend up with that one.
I'm trying to think. We kind of have a theme going now, and it's stuff we're disappointed by. Last week we talked a lot about stuff we really liked. And
yeah.
Now we're talking about stuff we really don't like. I hate to say it, but I kind of want to keep it going because I think that's also an important topic to have.
Well, all right. I will ask I can ask one, but if you don't want me, I won't say who it is. But I'm kind of curious because it did disappoint me, but they're a sponsor of yours. So if you don't want me to say it, I won't.
Go ahead.
What did you guys think of the Fiddlehead?
I didn't smoke the Fiddlehead.
Okay. I only smoke one, in fairness. And it may be more, I just can't get Sumatra wrapped around Sumatra. And even Saka couldn't do it for me, is what I'm saying. So I know he's using it on the Jubilee, and I've only had one of those cigars, and it was gifted to me. So I want to be fair on that. But it just, I think it was too much out of Steve's wheelhouse where it just didn't do it for me. I could see why they did it for New Hampshire because he could kind of test the waters with it. If people like it, that's great. You know, it just didn't hit me that Fiddlehead.
And he's using it on the 10th Jubilee,
which I do know people smoked and liked on my team. I didn't smoke it. So,
the 10th Jubilee.
I have not smoked the 10th Jubilee. My guys got those. So
interesting.
They get
I mean, like I mean, Sumatra for me, it's hit or miss.
It's really
it's very 50-50 for me. I either really like it or I'm just like I can't do it.
And that's why I don't want to knock Steve or anything. It's just apparently he couldn't overcome that Sumatra. There's a taste with Sumatra. It doesn't hit. I mean, look, Nick Malolo's Axums did not hit for me. As Jay told Nick Malolo, I didn't like it. And
yeah,
Jay Handy won at the trade show. It's funny.
Jay just commented, more disappointing. I thought all three greatly missed. Edge 20, JFR 20, Wiseman Maduro, and Corojo by MFC.
I want to know.
Edge 20 was a huge.
What about the JFR 20 didn't hit for you? I'm curious.
See, I didn't smoke the JFR 20. I can't comment on that one. Yeah.
Me either.
I wonder if, especially being at the shop, I wonder if Jay's experienced what I experienced myself. And as to the Fiddlehead, so Coop, I think that's a cigar you want to smoke again at the end of the year. If you have any.
Like I said, I was gifted it. It was very nice. Someone gifted it to me, and it just didn't hit me.
Towards the end of the year, I'll send you one because I have plenty of them.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah.
I've smoked it since it's been released, and I think it's getting better. So I think it's something you want to try again down the road.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Well, did you like the Romeo and Juliet? Because that uses a Sumatra, and I think that thing's amazing.
I did like it. No, I did like it. Yes. I think there's enough other tobaccos going on that kind of counters that. And I was surprised I was surprised they went with Sumatra. I was really surprised they went with a Sumatra. Oh, but I did like it.
Are you a VSG guy?
Yes. I do like that. So this is
what would you like then?
Yeah. There are some I like. I mean, I like some of the old EP Carrillos that used the Sumatra. I liked some of the short runs that used it. What was he did another? Oh, the old Cardinal used to use it. Ernie's done well with Sumatra in my book. So I mean, it can. What was that?
Tad Sumatras?
Most no. They're usually my least favorite.
Did you have the T110 Sumatra a few years ago?
Yeah, it was my least favorite of the three. It was my least favorite of the three. It was
good. I didn't think it was bad. Coop, I think I'm with you on that one.
I thought the Habano, obviously the Habano was better. I actually the Tuxla and the Sumatra didn't hit for me with that.
The broadleaf I had number 3 on my list that year. I still have most of the box. Me and Pat opened it a few months ago, and we those are the only 2 cigars that have been taken out of that box so far. I put the box back and I forgot about it, and they hit. Yeah. Remember after the show we cut that box open?
Yep.
The cigars are awesome.
I'll give you the best Sumatra I've had this year, but it's kind of an asterisk what it gets. Fiat Lux Tenebris by Luciano. But the catch with that is it actually has 2 wrappers on top of the binder, and one of them is Sumatra. So, but you know, still there's a heavy Sumatra component in that. So, but that was a really good cigar, and that's the Fiat Lux with the black label.
Oh yeah.
I I thought Luciano did a good job with that cigar. I think he did a very good job with that cigar. McAuliffe, I guess the McAuliffe Blue has to be in there, but that's Mexican Sumatra.
Yeah, that one. The black was great, and then the blue. I think. I don't know. I don't know if the black just gave me such high expectations because it was so great, and then I had the blue, and I was like,
I like the blue. I like the blue.
It wasn't as good as the black.
I think the black's still the black and the red. It's a toss up. What did you think of the purple? I finally got around to smoking it.
We
the blue better.
we got several bundles from them. I haven't opened mine yet, but Pat has a couple. I don't know if you've opened your bundles yet.
I think it's good. It's like it's not a knock your socks off, but that's not what the colors are supposed to be. I mean, I think the black is definitely the best one they've done, hands down. Purple's a good $9 cigar. I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy it.
I think it's an approachable cigar. But I like what they're doing with the San Andreas Sumatra, so I got to give them credit on that. It's, the Ecuadorian Sumatra just doesn't usually hit with me, but that San Andreas Sumatra was pretty good.
And then
since we're on the top, I can say
go ahead.
What I think's fucking stupid. Electric lighters. Holy shit, they're dumb.
So I got an electric lighter, and I don't understand how to use it, right? Because it uses butane and a USB, and I don't have instructions for it, so I don't know what the USB's for.
Why? Like, what is the point of adding a component to a lighter that you have to fill? Like, you have to charge it.
I don't know if it's a dual. I got to look to see if it's even a dual lighter. I don't even know. It literally just got the thing.
I don't.
And to be honest with you, I've seen the pure electric ones, and I don't want to touch those things on my cigar. To be honest with you.
Oh yeah. Those I'm talking the butane electric ones. Like the pure electric ones are just like,
the butane ones I don't understand, Pat. I mean, I agree with you. I don't know the purpose to them. I've not understood it.
I forget what the brand is. Twins just got them. I don't know if it's Vertigo, but they have an electric one, and it's a button you press, and it's just like a little. You press. It's like a touchscreen button. I've heard of 3 people that things went off in their pocket.
Oh, really?
Stupid. I don't know. You have to have butane on hand, right? And you have to keep the thing filled. Like, what is the? There's no convenience to having an electric lighter. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. It mind boggles me. And it's more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, give me an ST Dupont or a Zycar any day.
That's right.
Yep.
ST Dupont.
I have my Maxi Jet here. My Mega Jet, excuse me. This is the Mega Jet I have today.
We got the. I just changed the graphic, but we once again we have our ST Dupont lighters with us. Fantastic as always.
Was that your accessory of the year? What was your accessory? It was the Biggie, right?
Biggie.
Yeah, I did the Slimmy. I reviewed the Slimmy. Great lighter, by the way. I ended up buying that one too. It's a nice flat. I like a good flat flame lighter. And then I got gifted this, kind of to complete my. I'm building an ST Dupont collection, so.
Yeah, welcome to the club. I mean, it's hard not to. It's addicting, You start getting excited.
Yeah. Look, the quality. I keep remember what you wrote in your line 2 review, and it was really good. You gotta that thing you gotta treat like you gotta treat it with kid gloves because it's a durable lighter, but you don't want to bang that thing around either. What I'll tell everyone, it's very good craftsmanship on that. I actually keep mine in the box protected, just so it doesn't I don't knock anything on it or anything like that. So, in fact, all my DuPont lighters I keep in the box, so I don't want to scratch them or anything. And they don't leave the house. So
I don't think.
But I have the mini, the Maxi now, and the Mega. So
I don't think DuPont can do anything wrong, but the necklace lighter was a question mark too for me.
See, I don't know if I'd wear the necklace, but I do like the concept of it.
I think, and look, and I'm not trying to rock the boat here with anybody who's got extreme opinions, but if I had to take a stab, I think that the necklace lighter was marketed towards females, and it makes a lot of sense.
But I
Women-
like the fact that I can keep it around my neck and not lose it if I go out. So I do like that.
That's true.
I don't know how I'd look with it, right? I don't know how good I'd look with it on, but I like the general concept of it. Because that's a lighter I would feel comfortable transporting around because I'm wearing it on my neck and it's not in my pocket.
It's cool. I mean, look,
Yeah,
I'd wear
yeah.
it just because I'm, into all sorts of shit. But, I mean, it's definitely unique. I think, to say the least. Which actually, something, we should get one of those because we should review it and check it out. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
that and the Line 1. I do want to get the Line 1.
the Line 1 is
I do
very
wanna-
interesting.
I like the compact size of that thing. That's why, and it's. I think it was a great move that they brought it back. And now it pings. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for them, like in that category of lighter, I think the Line 2 is still like number one. But I think that there is a niche base for Line 1.
Yes. I think what Les was saying, it was being geared a little more towards females, because it's a little more compact for them.
Smaller
Not that
hands.
it's a girl's lighter. It's not that it's a girl's lighter, but I think I could see that being a little more easily to put in a purse. It weighs less,
And more
Line
comfortable
2
to
does weigh
hold.
more. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of get that. I think it was a smart move that they brought that back.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, let's see, I might have mentioned this before. I know me and Les talked about this, specifically, like, when we talked about the Line 1. I know a lot of Swiss watch companies. Actually, I talked about this with Nicholas Perdomo as well. A lot of Swiss watch companies now are making smaller dials, like including in the men's collections, because they are really trying to market towards like Asia and countries where people generally have smaller wrists, smaller hands. So I could see, same thing with Dupont. Like I could see, there's a large, demographic and market out there for people with smaller hands, and you make these luxury products, and while it's not like extreme where it's like it's too uncomfortable for them, I could see where there's a group of people where it's like, hey, like a slightly smaller lighter would be more comfortable for me, and I would be just that much more like eager to buy it because like I like this better. And so and I bring that up because it's not just like with one product. Like I see this trend with like multiple products and industries where people are starting to kind of think about the smaller handed consumer, which is a very interesting topic because I feel like there's very like specific things that would have to matter. But yeah, I always think about that because I remember there's a watch that I have that I brought back to the jeweler to get reappraised, and they told me, they don't make this anymore. And I said, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, they discontinued it because they're focusing more on smaller dials and smaller cases. And I said, really? And they said, yeah, it's kind of the thing now. And then, talking to Les is like, well, the Line 1's coming back and we're marketing to smaller handed people. It's a little more compact. And I was like, yeah, so this seems to be a trend of like smaller products. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's it. I just like, it's not like a thing either way. I just find it interesting. Like, oh wow, like there's like a small-handed market that people are like looking at. Like that's interesting. I don't know. It's fascinating.
When I went to Dubai, I thought about taking the Line 2, but obviously it's on loan to me,
Jay.
right? But it's on loan to me. There was no way I wanted to chance it, right? But I did think, because again, you could travel with a soft flame lighter, and that's always the key thing.
Right.
And I had other soft flame ones that were cheaper that I was able to take with me. So I didn't want to chance that would either get confiscated or lost. So I don't. But yeah, I would have taken it.
Jay said the purpose of the lighter on the chain is it goes between your poops.
Okay.
Jay.
If I ever see somebody wearing that, I'll be shocked. I don't get it. Now, I'm sure the lighter itself is high
Phenomenal.
quality.
I think
Something
there's a
most
market
people
for
like.
it. It just isn't our style. I would agree. But most people we know, I don't think would wear it. But I think there's an absolute market for it.
I can't remember how small the lighter is. For me, it would depend on how small it is. Like, when La Fée Lam came out with their necklace cutter, the dog tag thing, they made it in 2 sizes.
See, I wouldn't wear that either. Yeah.
And they sent them to me, and I got the bigger one. And I wore it around for a while, and I'm like, this is too big. And I think the bigger one would cut up to a 70 ring, and then the smaller one was like a 54, or no, bigger than that, probably like a 56, 60 ring cutter. It was smaller, and I was like, I'd probably wear that because it's very thin, so it's not like it's cumbersome and heavy. But I want to say, I'm trying to remember. I have it somewhere. It's among the mass of shit in here that I have. All right, so I would say the bigger one's probably the size of this cutter, right?
Yes.
Which, if you haven't seen it in person, I know it's kind of hard. But then, like, if you put the line 2 next to it, I mean, the line 2 is like just as tall, but it's a little more narrow, right? And so
Yeah.
the smaller one I think is probably around the size of the line 2. But remember, like, really, it's like razor thin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's close. And actually, I have a dog tag necklace that I wear. So I mean, like this. It's probably like a little bit bigger than this, but I would wear that because like I wear this. But like this giant thing, like that was too much. That was too much.
I gotta say, Let's Feast Lambs, I like what they're doing. I think they're good guys. They're doing some innovative things. I want to get one of those lighters, those LeFou lighters, the ones that have the shape of the cigar band.
Yeah.
I think those are ergonomically really a nice lighter. I like what those guys are doing. So I know they just sold the company, but I think they're still part of it, and I hope they stay a part of it for a long time because they're doing some cool things. I think.
Yeah, they sold it to Oliva, right?
Yeah, I mean punch cutter bracelets are not my thing, but we gave away 2 of them on Cigar Coop, and they went fast. People wanted them.
So
fast.
I will tell you this about those. They sent me a few different ones, and and I, like everything, I tested them. So I wore them every day, and I got I had two of them. Both of them I got to about 2 months and they broke. At the same time, I wore, and I don't have them on right now, but most people know I wear them almost daily. I have several of Matt Booth's Ramona 1 bead bracelets, which are very similar. Those bracelets have lasted me.
But they don't have a cutter on a punch on those.
They
do they?
don't. They don't. But they don't. But it's not the cutter that's the problem. It's the string and the elastic they use. It just doesn't last, and it just breaks, and the beads go everywhere. Versus like Matt's, like I've been wearing them for years, and they stretch out a little bit, but I've never had an issue. So it's disappointing. I wish they could figure that out because I love the concept of it, and I would wear it every day. I already wear bead bracelets. But it's like if it don't last, like it don't last.
Well, yeah. For me, I don't wear a bead bracelet, and I don't use punches, so it wasn't really. But when I put them out for like the contest, people went crazy over them. We had a huge amount of. So and then I donated one to a charity auction as well. So I had a few of them as well, and like I said, I just didn't really. I should have probably went through a test with them. To be fair, I didn't. So and I was getting them from Pro Cigar. There were a bunch of those going around Pro Cigar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't buy them because I would have probably been a little bit more disappointed. Like, oh wow, that was a waste. But I gave them. So the first one was a regular elastic, like Matt's are on elastic, so they stretch. Right. And then I was so I'm about 2 months in, it snapped on me, it broke, whatever, and they were like, oh, that's interesting, and I said everything else about it is great. I'm disappointed because I want to keep wearing it, but it broke. And so then they said, all right, they're like, we actually came out with a slide string version where you put it on, and you pull the strings and it tightens. Like, we're gonna send you that one, and I said, all right. So they sent me that one, and I was like, all right, I liked the elastic better. But I'm like, all right, this is still cool. I like it. So I wore it. Same thing. I got to almost 2 months, and the string dried out and snapped, and the beads went everywhere. And I was like, oh, there goes that. So it's disappointing. I love the concept. And I'm not a punch guy, but I would wear it. And I'd use it from time to time because I love the sentiment of it and it's cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they don't last. It's so disappointing.
Yeah. No, it's a shame. We talk about accessories that miss. I like this accessory, but I gotta say it flopped for them. Was the Zycar Revolution cutter?
Yeah.
So I never put the review out for it, and I should.
I think I did.
So I can tell you there's a good use case for it for me. If you're slightly arthritic, it actually is pretty good, but it is complicated to use. It's cumbersome to use, as well, just say.
Pat, did you ever use it?
When did it come out?
2-3 years
About
ago?
3 years ago. Yeah.
It was when Joe Grow was over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
It had the spring loaded, and you like
Yeah.
that.
I think the best accessory, like honestly, it's probably in my top 3. It's like OG Zycar, and it's that single flame metal lighter that had the cutter that was magneted to it. I forget what it was called.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
It's a single flame jet lighter, and the cutter has a magnet that attaches to the lighter, and it's very compact.
Oh, never mind. I was
Okay,
thinking something else.
And I wish Dupont would do something like that. That accessory that had the cutter attached to the like a magnet, not like, you know what I mean? Like if you look at, I forget what the Zycar was called. It's just if you look up Zycar magnet cutter lighter, you probably find it. But I think they re-released it. But I think that's one of the best accessories, like hands down. With the exception of Dupont, like Line 2s.
I want to say there's a name for it. I don't know if they just called it a combo or something like that. But I know exactly what you're talking about. It had the ring gauges on the front, right? Is that the one?
I'll try to find it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they called it the combo.
And who made it?
Zycar.
I don't really remember that one.
Well, this looks like it. Zycar Ultra Mag single cigar lighter, and I think you can get the cutter and it magnets to it.
I'll tell you what I am gonna buy is the G10 Zycars when they come out. So it uses that G10 material on it, which is like extra durable. And I saw those at the show, and they had all those designs, and they look with the black cutter blade. It really looks nice. But they're using this G10 material, which is a very durable material. And we spent some time at the booth with those guys, and they were showing us that.
Jay said, when I was in Europe, a tobacconist let me use one that looked like a Zycar XO, but it was all ceramic. I feel like I've seen that. I feel like I've seen what he's talking about.
Yeah, the other brand has really good accessories.
Oh, it's like
And so another company has really good accessories, and you can buy them, like they resell them. Is Rocky Patel, so they buy them from like other companies and they rebrand them. And I think I was telling the story when I was in Italy last year. I got this quad frame lighter, and when I came back, I saw Rocky Patel had the same lighter, exactly the same specs and everything it was, and they basically buy it and rebrand it under theirs, and they put the Rocky Patel logo on it.
Well, that was like
I have several Rocky lighters, and they're really good.
Well, that was like when I went to the Vissel booth. Vissel? I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. I went to their booth, and I was looking at their lighters, and they had that, and it's such a weird shape, but you'll know what I'm talking about when I get to the second part of this. But they had these lighters that were pretty much identical to the lighters that Keith Park uses at Prometheus. You know what I'm talking about? Like the weird, like what's that shape? Like trapezoidal-ish? Not trapezoid, but it's a funky shape. It's the one. It's the same. It's that same like lighter that he uses. That same shape. And I remember saying to myself like, is it that he uses their lighters and then he customizes it to his brand, or is it like did one like because I was like it's such a distinct shape and style that I'm like there's got to be a connection here, and maybe there probably is, and I just don't realize it. But I remember saying like, oh yeah, that's like that's like one of those, and I thought that was interesting. I don't know if that is what the case. I don't know if they make them for him and he just has them made Prometheus, but I will say I have a few of his lighters that I got earlier on as like a collection thing, but all of them have failed at one point or another. It didn't take long. I was very disappointed. Like you see them and it's like, wow, that's cool and that's awesome. And then you actually get one in your hand before you even use it, and you're like, oh, this is like kind of light and it just feels cheap. And then you start using it, and like even the ignition, it's the way it clicks, it's like clock. It's like it feels it feels like I got it. It just feels like a giveaway lighter, you know what I mean? And which is like, oh, this is a $300 lighter, and it feels like it was like a cheap giveaway, like they made 1 billion of them in China, and like they're like $1 each, and they're kind of like, and then the biggest issue with them though, and I could get past all that though, but the biggest issue is they all have what's called backsparking, and for those who don't know what that means, which I'm pretty sure both of you know what that means. Backsparking is when inside the lighter you have the little arc that essentially lights the fuel, that ignites the flame. So there's something that can happen where it's supposed to arc between the 2 points, and that's when the gas flows and then the arc jumps, and then that's what lights the flame. This on his lighters, in multiple lighters, and it happens constantly. He has this issue where the primary arc point, the arc doesn't jump to the other one. It actually arcs away to the outside of the inner casing of the flame shield. And when that happens, it doesn't ignite the gas. So if it's confusing, because if you really don't know what you're looking at, you might not know, because at first glance you hit the ignition, you hear the gas flow, you see the little spark inside, and you're like, why is this not going? And it's because the arc is going backwards, so it's going away from the flame. And I know it's like, well, you think like, well, it's not. It has to be precise apparently for it to ignite the gas, because even though it's still in there, if it arcs in the wrong direction, it won't light the gas. And that is a very constant problem with the Prometheus lighters. I have a handful of them, and I don't use them anymore because I just got tired of fighting. I said, forget it. They're cool on the shelf, but I'm tired of fucking with them all the time.
It's funny because I got the Opus collection Prometheus lighters, like probably I think it was on the 2021 release, and I have the same issue.
Yep.
And I just have them as a display piece now.
Yep. It's really all they're good for. It's a cool display. If like they're like the Opus ones, like they're branded or whatever. If it's like the regular plain Prometheus one, it's kind of like, all right. But even still, I mean, if you buy the nice ones that are like limited edition, you still want to use them, and they're useless because they like the big one, the little one, they all do it. And it's a shame. I don't know why, and I don't know why they haven't figured that out. But after like the 4th time, I said, I'm sick of this. So just so you know, for those out there. And there's 2 people here who have had that issue. Coop, I don't know if you've ever had that happen.
I have not. I have not. I know of the issue, but I have not had it.
Okay. Yeah, and it's funny. I've used a lot of lighters in my time. I've used a lot of the Vertigos, a lot of the QIs, Duponts, and none of them, I've not had one of them ever do it to me. But every Prometheus lighter I've ever had has done it. And I don't know why. It's honestly, it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. So that's my gripe with them. I love the concept. I love everything about it, but when it comes down to performance, they don't perform, which is too bad. It's a shame. But again, you live and you learn. So
Yep.
but anyway, I'm trying to keep my schedule here kind of tight. So I know
Yep.
we're
No,
running
understood. Yep.
we're running out of time. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching tonight and listening along. If you're catching us later on the downloads, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. But don't forget to like and subscribe everywhere you get your podcast from. We got Law Ream coming on the show Wednesday night to talk a little bit about
he's awesome,
Zeno.
man.
Yeah,
Did the greatest PCA video ever.
he's awesome.
When he was in media, he did a great. That's exciting. I really like Law a lot. He's a
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah. I was trying to get Tommy Boy to come on because I love Tom, and then he was like, "Nah." He's like, "I think it would be better for Law." And so I have no problem with Law coming on. I love Law. I think he's great. So, but he was like, "Nah, Law's gonna take my place." So I'm like, I mean, that's fine. It's a good substitute. So Law's coming on the show.
Law's good. Law's done a great. Both of those guys are good guys. So Davidoff's really done a good job with all their staff they've been bringing in.
Yeah.
Definitely younger staff, but Gabrielle over at Alvo is going to do great.
Yeah.
And I really got to know Alex. I want to get him on a show. He's extremely knowledgeable. Great ambassador for the brand. And I'm leaving Jack out of the great Jack Hire.
I was gonna say, I was waiting because I'm like, don't forget about the great Jack Hire, because I mean,
Listen,
when you talk about the faces of Davidoff, I mean, I think I bring a certain swagger to the role that is hard to replicate. All right, I'm just saying, nobody else was on point with their outfit at the trade show than me. I mean, I had the scorpion shoes, and the tramp stamp. I mean, no one's gonna beat me on that. Until Laura gets a Zeno tattoo, I'm still the king.
So Law had that white jacket and yellow shirt on. Did you ever see the character on the old Batman TV show called Egghead?
I don't know.
It's the Egghead suit, right? But Law rocks it. I mean, I'm not knocking Law. Not everyone can pull that off. Vincent Price used to be the Egghead character, and Vincent Price and Law are the only two who can pull that off that I've seen. So
I gotta say, yeah,
I remember when Jack was wearing Tona T-shirts in Nicaragua. So yeah,
I remember seeing the pictures of Jack passed out in Nicaragua with a can of Tona in his hand.
I've seen Jack passed out in Nicaragua. So.
I was like, "Wow, Jack, you look like you had fun at Pure Sport." He's like, "Yeah, it's not my proudest moment." I'm like, "Yeah, you think?"
When he was at Drew Estate, he made sure I had a ride home every night, Jack, so I could leave with the Drew Estate guys, and that's Jack, man. Jack always goes the extra mile, as well as all those folks. They've been really good to deal with. So.
Yeah, no, I mean
I really like the people they have in there now who've really stepped up.
I was gonna say, we kid with Jack, but that's because Jack makes it that way. It's fun, and he can take it, and he knows it's out of love. But when outside of that, like anytime I've actually had to be serious with Jack, he's always taken care of me. He's always been the best. He's never, when he was at Drew Estate, I mean, he was one of the best. So yeah, that is why he is the great Jack Hire.
The great Jack, yeah. One of the he will be. His journey in the industry is not complete. Is what I'm just saying. He's going to be going places.
He's a future Hall of Famer. I'm telling you, he's a first round Hall of Famer, and he might not be, Derek Jeter, with all of the, but he's still a Hall of Famer because of other great things that he's got going on.
This guy's done
it.
everything. He's done media, he's done sales, he's done marketing, he's done ambassador, and he's done brand management. He's checking all the boxes, what I'm saying, for someone.
Yeah,
and done well at all those roles. He did a great job at Alex Bradley, by the way. He had to go clean up a territory and stuff, I remember. He was dealing with Lars Tetons for a while. And I'm telling you, he did great work at Alex Bradley as well. So don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, That's our show this week. Shout out to the sponsors, ST Dupont, Shake Up the Legacy, featuring the new Monogram collection, as well as Perdomo Cigars, featuring the 2024 Cigar of the Year, the 30th anniversary Sun-Grown Epicure
Maduro
#1.
Epicure. And Maduro Epicure.
And it's cigarcoop.com. The Maduro Epicure.
Yep.
That's right. There's
Yep.
they got two, yeah. And Coop's
got
on the
double,
Perdomo Red stage tonight. And I don't know. They got some stiff competition, but they do have a horse in the race with Legacy this year, so we'll see. It's going to be a tough one. They definitely have a horse in the race, but there's a full stable so far, so we'll see. But that's going to be our show this week, guys. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Take care.